Is from Nicholas Taylor to Councillor Dan Swords. Mr Taylor, if you could approach the microphone. Would you like to read your question or have it taken as read, sir? Please do so.
I note that at last week's Cabinet meeting, councillors discussed and agreed the preferred option for the reorganisation of local government in Essex. At point 74, the report states that an annual savings of £104 million can be made each year, and that at point 75, area committees will be set up. As you will know, in the 1990s and early 2000s, Harlow Council had 7 area committees, each with up to 10 councillors, staffed by a team of officers, each with an agenda providing time for residents to ask questions put on the night. These committees were abandoned after some 6 years as being costly, time-consuming, delaying decision-making, and were difficult to manage. Contrast that with the creation of town and parish councils, which are of course independent from the district council. In view of how far things have progressed and the in-depth analysis which has identified millions of pounds of savings, can you advise me how many area committees you expect to be set up in Harlow, what money will need to be set aside to set them up and keep them running, and what budget will be given to provide tailored service in each neighbourhood?
Thank you, Mr Taylor. The answer comes from Councillor Swords.
Thank you for your question. It's important to remember that the plan is one of 4 business case options that will be considered by the government, who will select those they wish to formally consult on ahead of the final selection. The 5 unitary authority plan includes the creation of, or proposed creation of neighbourhood area committees across each new unitary authority. It will be for that new unitary authority to decide how these are structured accordingly, but one of the main arguments in favour of the 5 unitary authority model is that Harlow would be at the centre with its interests at the new unitary authority's heart. However, the proposal states that each of these committees will have delegated powers, or proposed to have delegated powers in their own budgets to make decisions on local matters such as highways, licensing and community grants. The proposal emphasises that these committees will be designed to empower local communities and councillors and to avoid the pitfalls of previous models by ensuring consistency, accountability and efficiency. As for the costs, while the proposal doesn't break down the budget for Harlow specifically, it is proposed that the funding for these committees will be built into the wider transformation programme. That includes set-up costs and ongoing operational budgets, which will be aligned with the Council's overall financial strategy. So in short, the number of committees in Harlow, if the new unitary decided to have them, would be determined by how the future council, i.e. the new unitary, chooses to structure these in line with the business case approach, and it is proposed that they will be properly funded and have real decision-making power.
Thank you, Councillor Swords. Mr Taylor, you have the opportunity for a supplementary question should you wish to ask one.
I do, yeah.
Please do so.
I think I may be the only person in this room who has experience of working with area committees, having managed the Bush Fair and Potter Street committees in the 1990s. The 3 unitary model, agreed last night or the night before by Epping, goes into much more detail about what it calls neighbourhood delivery committees. It proposes the setting up of 28 across Essex, with just 1 in Harlow. But I note that there are 3 in the Epping Forest District Council area. Also lists examples of the assets and responsibility that these committees may have. Have you or other council leaders and officers spoken to those working in unitary authorities with area committees, if there are any, and how they are integrated with the council's decision-making process?
Thank you, Mr Taylor. The answer will come from Councillor Swords.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. There we are. Yes, thank you very much. So, yes, there are, or there have been unitary authorities that have gone through that process and set area committees up. One that I can think of off the top of my head who we spoke to was Cornwall. They abandoned them because they said they were a complete waste of time, didn't work, as you referenced in your earlier question. Personally, I'm extremely sceptical of them, and the government has already ruled out new town and parish councils. And that is why one of the criteria of the unitarisation process is about how localism and local decision-making and sensible geography can be respected. And, as we will discuss shortly, and as you reference, in fact, that is one of the significant challenges for those who suggest that a council stretching from Harlow to Malden could address those matters. But, ultimately, the thing we come back to time and time again when asking questions about this. It is not for Harlow Council to determine how many area committees a new council may have in the future. It will be for that unitary authority to determine whether they have them at all, and if they do have them, how that is the case. Personally, I want to see a new unitary authority that has Harlow at its centre, despite all of my reservations and thoughts on the government's proposals about LGR and the fact we disagree with it almost entirely. If it is to happen, we want Harlow to be at the centre of that, and that's what we'll fight.